Hello and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Sports. My name is Michael Raziel, and this is a show where we get to talk about sports, we get to talk about business, and we get to talk about everything in between. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, you know exactly what to do. Like and subscribe on YouTube, 5-star review on Spotify, 5-star review, and say some really nice things about me over on Apple. But more importantly, today, my incredible guest, I have Andy Borowsky. He's the founder of Sockey, reoccurring guest. Andy, how you doing today, man?
Hey, great to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. I just want to come clean to the audience. Andy ordered one of my books, and I never sent it to him. And I feel like a total piece of garbage. So we have Andy on here today, not because he actually told me that after we scheduled the interview, so it makes it a little bit worse. We're having Andy on today. If you audience members, if you haven't, make sure to go back and check out Andy's first episode. We go over his whole hockey career, coaching, everything that he's done, the programs that he's ran. Absolutely incredible dude, so make sure to go check that out. But we want to bring him back on today because a good friend of ours, Todd, reminded me that you were up to some cool stuff with Sockey and you actually just started a Kickstarter. So I was like, you know what? Let's bring back Andy onto the show, talk to him a little bit about what he's doing again, remind some of the good folks that are listening, and hey, maybe you get a couple extra bucks. Worst case, I mean, you kind of shamed me into it, Andy. I'm definitely going to give you money on the Kickstarter. But other than that, man, how you been?
Thanks, man. No, all is good. As you said, I appreciate it. We're really fortunate. We had a great launch. Hit our goal right out of the gates, 2 days, and we have about 26-ish days left to keep going and keep trucking, and we're super excited. So it's been a wild ride, but so far so good. Yeah,
I love it, man. So yeah, let's get into the nuts and bolts a little bit of Sockey. It's a really cool product. I remember the story behind it was very cute, right? And sticking hockey sticks into cars doesn't look so great, right? If I'm not mistaken. So if you don't mind, enlighten us a little bit on what that awesome product is that you created and why we want to give you so much money.
Sure, I appreciate it. Well, as an elementary school teacher by day, that's I've been teaching for about 20 years now, and when I was, this is going back about 15 years, the local parent-teacher organization asked me if I would run a hockey program after school, floor hockey, nothing with the ice, and I was coaching an ice hockey team at the time, and loved the idea, wanted to run a floor hockey game, but the principals would not allow it because they were worried that the sticks would damage their newly renovated gymnasium floor. So to make a very long story short, I had my high school players come, and I literally took sweat socks, and I taped them over the blade of every hockey stick, played the game, no injuries, not a scratch, and I said, well, how do I not name this program Sock Hockey, right? We're using socks, it's hockey, there you go. And it just took off. And so the goal for me as a teacher was to make this a community-based program and kind of cookie-cut this program to all other schools. We only focus on having teachers as our coaches, so the students know who your coach is going to be. They're familiar with, the environment. The parents are thrilled, and it puts a couple extra bucks in teacher pockets. So it's really taken off. And then over the years, I just got to the point where I had to stop buying bulk bags at department stores of literally sweat socks. And I just went to the drawing board. I designed and had manufactured a neoprene sock cover, which is what we're using now, and it's called the Sockey. And this product is used for indoor floor hockey, but it's also for the ice hockey player. While you're traveling, we can customize them with your team logo, team number. So we're kind of hitting everybody. I mean, it's a multifunctional product for the indoor floor hockey, the ice hockey player. Moms and dads love it because it does not scratch up the inside of their car when the kids throw their stick in the car. So we really thought about everything, and so far so good. So
I love it, man.
Kickstarter. Yeah.
Congratulations, that is awesome. Yeah, I remember when we originally had you on. I'm sure I said this back then, but yeah, I wish teachers got paid more money too. So if I was in a place of power, Andy, believe me, I'd be the first person to sign that bill. But unfortunately,
thank you.
I'm just holding a microphone. Maybe that does give me the power. I don't know. You tell me.
Definitely.
I hope, man. Maybe one of these days. But no, man, I think it's so cool, and it's such a cool project, right? And it comes from like a really good place, right? It was just to help students stay active after school. Hey, help teachers, make a couple extra bucks, right? I remember the floor hockey leagues that we had in high school and elementary school, right? Grade school, and it was fun. Who doesn't have a good time playing floor hockey? It doesn't hurt, right? Like nothing really bad is going to happen, and it's always fun.
Yeah. And most importantly, we've introduced the game to, I think, over 5,000 students at this point, which was amazing because majority of the students that play in the program are not even hockey players. So this is an introduction. We're bringing them to the game. Anything we can do, just a love for the game and excitement, exercise, have fun. But what was interesting and also great was that during COVID, when we had to pivot and we couldn't play the programs, we couldn't run indoors, we reached out to all the grassroots organizations, or a lot of grassroots organizations from the NHL, and they were awesome in supporting us because we tried to give back. We made custom Sockies for them with their team logos on them, and they shipped them out to their followers and their tribe. Play inside, play in your house, don't forget about us. And it was great to just see them continue the love of the game, even though we couldn't get into spaces. Kids were playing at their house and using Sockies to play in their kitchen floor, in their garage. One person sent us a clip of in their bathtub, just stick handling, because it's safe. Nothing, no damage to the bathtub. They put their Sockey on their stick, and you have some space. So it was really nice
awesome.
to get all the support, to your point, from not only our teachers, but also all these other grassroots organizations that really came through and supported us.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that was the whole goal of the thing, and it allowed you to, again, keep people connected with the sport that you love so much, which I think is awesome in a way that I'm sure they could have stayed connected, but their parents would have been a lot more pissed off about it, which, again, then they might not have put them back in, right? There's a whole, butterfly effect that would have happened. So we're very grateful for you and your idea, Andy. I think it is absolutely fantastic. And as you said, you kind of went to the drawing board a little bit. Tell us about some of those, the first iteration being an actual sweat sock.
Right.
I'm sure it did its job, but let's be honest. I'm sure you put a little bit of science into this thing at this point.
Sure.
What was going to the drawing board especially in the beginning, and trying to figure out, okay, one that makes sense, that one size fits all? What were some of the things that you were thinking, especially with the first product, before we kind of get to the evolution where we're at now?
Right. Well, my idea at first was I wanted to get the logo on it somehow. I wanted to brand this and do some things. And so what I thought was once a great idea years ago, I then took a sweat sock and transformed that to a tube sock. And we decorated the tube sock with logo and stripes and something that looked cool to wear literally on your feet, but also that we could put on the sticks. But, after a year or two of that, it's just the same thing. It's still a sock, literally a sock, even though our logo was on there. So then I just wanted to just try to think of something that was a little bit more durable. Had a buddy that helped me out that was in the manufacturing, line of work, and he got me to somebody that could. We found a good material that was, durable, and we tested that out. And again, a lot of prototypes, it would start to slide on, but it would rip if you tried to pull it too tight, or when you take it off, it would rip. We ran into a lot of problems. Then I also wanted this to be multifunctional for an ice hockey player for when you're traveling. And then we ran into the snag where ice hockey players use hockey tape on their sticks. So there's that friction. And when you try to take your Sockey off, it's not coming off, and you'd end up ripping it and pulling it off. So we went to the drawing board a lot, and basically then finally came up with, we have a zippered back now, which makes it even simpler for the application. You slide it on, zip it, make it tight, completely durable, stays on snug. I mean, it's awesome. Still a little bit of tweaks to come, and that's why, with our Kickstarter, we're trying to raise some funds to just get some new drawings and new designs and new prototypes out there. But yeah,
I love it.
It's been awesome. Yeah.
Well, kudos and congratulations again, man. I think it is super cool. And just again, the going out there and actually, because all these ideas sound good until, as you said, you almost put them into practice, right? Let's let hockey players will love this thing. We totally forgot every hockey player uses tape on their stick, right? And that's just, you say it and it's duh, but I would have never thought that. And it's just kind of one of those things you just kind of, until it's in motion, you're like, okay, cool. Okay, this is something we obviously need to figure out. Let's move to the next thing and the next thing. And as you said, kind of the zipper back makes a lot of sense. Probably makes it an extra $1 more expensive, but at the same time, probably makes it significantly easier.
Yep. And
that's
time,
true.
Time to get the prototypes made, get it back, and you're waiting, and then only to have it not be perfect. And for myself, I'm a perfectionist, and I want this to be done right. I want kids to enjoy this, whatever they have, and feel good about it. And then you tweak it again, you send it out again, you have to wait again, and you do it over and over until it works. And it's been a long process, but definitely a fun process, and of course worth it for where we are right now. Yeah.
And it sounds like that's where the passion and the love of the sport comes from, right? There's a lot of people that could have done this once or twice, or they could have just stopped at tube sock, right? Well, let's throw a logo on a tube sock. That's kind of cool. Kids, go home and do this, right? But no, you've taken it to the next level. You keep continuing to improve upon this product that you believe in, but you've seen work in multiple different fashions, right? And I think that's the really cool part about what you've done and how you're taking it and where you're taking it, which I think, again, just congratulations, man. I mean, when we spoke a couple years ago, I know you were working on some of these prototypes. I think that's where we were, and now here you are. You got not that you didn't have a legitimate product prior, but you got a legitimate product. You're trying to take it to market. You're trying to do a lot of stuff with it, which I think is pretty cool. And so you bring up the Kickstarter, and I'm just kind of curious, can we shout out numbers? How much are we trying to raise? What are we trying to do? What does that get you? I want to know a little bit about this project we got.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So we had our goal set at 10,000, and luckily, we've had a lot, as I mentioned, a lot of fans and supporters over the years. They came through. We hit our goal within the first 48 hours, which was amazing.
You hit $10,000 in 48 hours?
We hit our 10,000.
Holy shit, man! Congratulations!
Yeah,
that shows you how much people love your. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations!
I mean, it was great. Really, we had everything from, of course, my friends, family, Sockey alumni, Sockey coaches, ice hockey players. I mean, just people that understand the product, but also my passion for this, entire process. And they really came through. And so now it's just, our campaign is 30 days. We're about 4 days in, and we're going. I mean, there's so much more and ideas that we have that we want to put forth, and we're going to use this funding for that. We're just trying to spread the word. And now it's kind of like, okay, let's reach those people that might not have ever heard of Sockey or don't know, but can use the product. And that's been fantastic. I've had a lot of people that I've never met before. They've heard through word of mouth. They hit me up. They ask about it. They love it. They see it. They see videos of kids playing in their house. They see pictures or Instagram or on Twitter and
TikTok.
Sorry.
Don't worry, I'm old too. You're good, man.
Of videos of people using it older, like high school, and so it's hit everything, and it's really been great. And so we're making our push. We're hoping to continue with this campaign. We don't want to stop at 10,000. We know we can do more and do better, and it's just a lot of it also is to give back. COVID obviously for a lot of people was tough. We had to shut down for almost 2 years, and that means nobody's playing the game. We're not generating the money that we're helping to give back to the teachers and to the scholarships and the ice hockey teams. So we're really feeling good about it. It's been great. We're on our way to a great campaign. Yeah.
So a couple questions about this, right? So you already hit your goal, so congratulations. I guess with that first 10,000, what are you trying to look to do with this money, right? I want to get to the extra money because I think that's the fun stuff, right? But what are you supposed to do? What was the goal, or what is the idea for this $10,000? Because I assume you have to have some very concrete ideas. It's not just like, hey, kind of looking for 10 grand, guys. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, number one is we always. I mean, this again started as a program for the children. With the kids in the schools, and it was hard when we shut down in COVID. I was stressed that we were not going to have the money to offer the scholarships that we do for the program. We weren't going to have the money to, I like to have at least 2 teachers from every school there, with everything, our cutbacks. And I didn't want to just have one teacher. The point was that these teachers had another means of making a couple extra bucks and being part of the school community. So I wanted to make sure that we had a cushion if something should ever happen moving forward. And you learn, from these lessons that you need to have it. So that's the first thing. I want to make sure that we have that money aside for those moments or times where we might have to stop or pause, that I can still take care of all the people that have been supporting the Sockey program for all of these years. So that's the first thing to have the funding for. After that, it's to explore a little bit and see if we can make some new tweaks and come out with new designs for the Sockey model, which is what we're working on. And also to we've been fortunate to have these conversations again with all of these grassroots organizations, and we're trying to kind of hone in on more of a specific niche product for that exact organization or company that we could help them market and advertise. So it might be more of a design tweak, something more customizable that we could have in inventory rather than have to do it, every time it comes through, to have something in the back pockets, which would be a manufacturing thing, to order more and be able to order larger quantities. You obviously need money to do that, So
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and I think the more money you raise, right? This is people are going to notice, and maybe people in high places and some sort of organization that starts with an N and ends with an L. Maybe they notice these things, right? Maybe they look at this. Maybe it's not just the dollars that they could give you. It's the brand. It's the ambassadorship that they can give you. I mean,
exactly.
You raise enough money. I mean, I don't know how much Connor McDavid costs to do something like that, but he's BetMGM. He's actually probably a little too. Maybe there's some New Jersey. The New Jersey Devils are super hot, aren't they? You're in New Jersey, right?
You know what? I'll give a shout out. I'll give a shout out to the Devils. They actually helped us. I have a buddy of mine that's there, and they helped us right before COVID. We did a test launch, a small project with them with what's called like the mites on ice. They skated between periods and they come off.
Yes.
The New Jersey Devils were very welcoming, and we did a Sockey run where they had the Devils logo on one, and then their sponsorship was on the other. And the sponsorship, I mean, it was great. It was a win-win. It's a walking billboard for that sponsorship. And the Devils now, because these hockey players, whenever they travel, they wear their Sockey on their stick, and wherever they go, they're showing off the New Jersey Devils on one side as a little walking billboard, and the advertisements on the other side. I mean, it's perfect for sponsorships in corporate I mean, it's a great giveaway for the hockey players.
Sounds like you got to get in contact with all, was it 30,
Yeah,
31
yeah.
teams now, if I'm
I
not
think
mistaken?
32 at this point.
32?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're adding more every
But
other day.
we're
It
with
seems
you,
like.
and there's people that are out there and they know and they see it. We just have to give them a little push and let them know we're for real and we're really doing this. We're waiting for that one or two influencer to step up and sport one of these and prove that people love these. This is it. I mean, we've gotten all good feedback, which has been tremendous. So that's definitely reassuring. Yeah.
If I was an influencer, Andy, I'd help you. But this is the best I can do, man, and I'll also give you some money too. That's the important part.
It.
What did you? I mean, I have to assume you kind of thought like you don't put a goal of $10,000 out there. You didn't think if you were going to come up short, you were going to come up a couple bucks short. Did you think you'd get this big of a reaction this quickly? Because I mean, that's an awesome turnout by the community and the people that love you.
It kept me up at night. That's for sure. You obviously you definitely want to set a goal that you think is within reach. Not too high, too low, but also for what you need to get started. And we looked at that and we evaluated it, and we were a little nervous because, like anything, you don't know. But we went for it. We didn't want to come in with anything too low because we also knew what we needed. And luckily, again, the family and the friends and the alumni and the supporters, they really stepped up, and it's really tremendous. It's funny, I've been doing this for so long that I have students that were once in my class as second graders, and now they're either high school or graduated. They're Sockey alumni, and they saw what was going on and they contributed. I mean, it just all comes full circle. It's really been special. Yeah.
That is awesome, man. And so did you have an idea of, okay, best case scenario, we hit this goal and we come up with an extra couple bucks. Was there anything extra? Was there any other incentive that you guys were looking for the $10,000 to $20,000 that you could do, or pretty much just more of what you were doing with that first 10K?
Yeah, it's pretty much more. Like, we're just going to try to keep the momentum, and again, reach out to the people that maybe have not heard of us yet, that are hockey players, or hockey parents, or just fans of hockey, and they appreciate what we're doing. I bump into people, and sometimes when I'm traveling, you just kind of know whose hockey families are if they're wearing a hat, an NHL hat or whatever it might be. I'll strike up a conversation and I'll tell them what we have. See if they're interested. Maybe I'll ship them one just to test it out. And the response has been amazing, where those people end up coaching youth teams and they say, hey, we love this. We want to get, 18 of these for everyone on our team, 18 pairs. So it catches on, and it's been tremendous. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. And I think it's a cool product. It's a great product. If I have a kid one day and they want to play hockey, do not worry, Andy. I'm going to be coming to you asking you for a really sweet customizable one. But until then, give me, I don't know, like 10-ish years, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. We'll
Take
see.
your
Kind of
time.
see. Yeah, I'm not in any rush. Don't you worry. But no, man, I think it's awesome. And so, what you're gonna get this money. You're gonna use it. It's gonna be great. What are some of the things that we're looking towards a little bit further down the road? Maybe a couple years down the road. Is it another raise? Is it other idea? Like what's a little bit further, just out of reach of this money?
Yeah. So, I mean, the Sockey program, the indoor floor hockey program, we call it's Sockey Hockey. I'm sporting the hoodie right now, Sockey Hockey.
Love it.
So it might be flipped
That's that's pretty sweet,
thank
dude.
you. So the Sockey Hockey program, we're kind of trying to differentiate between the program and what the actual product is. So the product is called a Sockey, and the game is Sockey Hockey. So we're continuing to try to expand the program, and again, continue doing what we started with, introducing hockey to just so many students that have never played the game, never even thought about it, making it accessible to them. Literally, they walk from class right to the gymnasium. We bring all the equipment. We provide it for them. So one of the goals is to continue to expand. We've been fortunate that we have I'm based outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so we have some schools in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I teach in New Jersey, and we've been lucky to get districts from all over reaching out, North Jersey, South Jersey, that want the program. So we're trying to get prepared to do that. With that comes more equipment, more shirts, more staff, all of the above. So that's in the wheelhouse. Again, the funding is going to help support the program, to be able to branch out and hit these communities that really want our program.
Well, I have a friend who's a teacher, so afterwards, let's connect
nice.
and see how I can connect you to him, and hopefully he can connect you to the powers that be, so you get another district in there. How's that?
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you.
It's a wealthy
Anybody,
district too.
Anybody, yeah, anyone listening near New Jersey, we're looking. We have South Jersey, North Jersey. They're interested. We just got to find. We want to find good people to help support us. Yeah,
I love it. Good stuff, man. All right. Where can we find the Kickstarter? Where can we find information about you? The handles, especially that TikTok handle. I know you're crushing it on TikTok. Where is all that stuff?
That's
Dropping
been a ride. I'll tell you. We just started that. So I am officially now the Sockey Dude on TikTok.
Okay.
Yep. So that's our TikTok handle. Twitter. We're also we changed the name a little bit just to broaden, maybe to get back to your 2-year plan and maybe even further. Sockey Sports. We're at Sockey Sports. So if you check out Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we're at Sockey Sports. That's where you can find us. Putting some fun stuff up there, and of course on TikTok, it's Sockey Dude. Yeah, and there you have
rock
it.
and roll.
Yeah.
And what about the
platform,
Kickstarter?
Yeah, just look for Sockey. If you go up there, go to the Kickstarter, search Sockey. It should come right up, and the full story is there. We put together a fun little video as an introduction to kind of tell everybody the story, and then scroll down and you'll get the story from the beginning all the way down to at the end. We kind of went a little bit backwards, but at the end you'll see the actual original sock that I kept from years ago with a white sweat sock, and I wrote with a blue Sharpie the word Sockey on the blade as like the vision that one day there will be something with a real logo and it will be branded, and it's wild. That's the last picture on the feed on the storyboard.
And here you are now,
original
man.
sock. Yeah.
I love it. Well, kudos and congratulations one more time, Andy Borowsky, founder of Sockey, the Sockey Dude, I guess. I kind of like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Good stuff, man. Thank you so much. Time's the only thing we don't get more of. So thank you and thank the audience for giving us a little bit of theirs. But other than that, man, I can't wait to give you some money. I hope a couple other people do. This was great. Appreciate you, Andy.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.